don't know, just the timing or something on it. I just kind of feel like I've been away from doing this for such a long time that if I do like even just like an hour or so, I got about 25 minutes of one, so I don't know. I feel like if I do like an hour or so a day or something like that for a while anyway, I'll feel all right.
Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance.
It is like the white supremacist thing. It's like they're unmasked and all this stuff, and they are part of these like different groups, and all these different groups get money if they participate in this thing. But like a lot of them probably don't know the half of what they're participating in, or they probably like either that or they like know, and and they don't really particularly care until I start like filming it and then putting it out for like satellites and stuff. I don't know the sound is on this thing. I know it's terrible.
And for the fourth year in a row, they've also ranked as highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN. For JD Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equalizing lenders licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
At the United States Postal Service, we don't just carry your product to its destination. We deliver your business, representing you and all of your hard work with pride. It's almost as if you're the one showing up to the customer's door, greeting them with a smile. Because when you ship to the United States Postal Service, your business becomes our business. That's why we deliver more e-commerce packages to home than anyone else in the country. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
Geico presents the voicemail from your friend, Water.
I wanted to apologize for ruining all your stuff, and I hope this can all just be meanders of bridge someday. Oh, and also I'm not paying for anything. Okay, bye.
Water never pays for water damage. Luckily, the Geico Insurance Agency makes getting coverage easy. Visit geico.com to see how affordable.
The Godfather. I was watching The Godfather on my tablet a little bit. Godfather Part 2. I watched at least 2 clips of it. And I should have had that filmed and then put it real quick and then in the history thing, and I didn't. Well, it's like some of the stuff is like in the suggestions, so there we go. All I gotta do is this kind of people watch and they go, it could possibly, there's just a remote chance. It could be a 1% chance that it's all about this person. It's just like, do you want to take that chance where you got the power to do something and then you don't? It's like in the Maltese Falcon. It's like, oh, sure, later there'll be millions. Right now, though, I wind up getting nothing. It's just like, let's see what kind of power you have by putting me in a house, in a non-toxic environment, and just basically, for the most part, I'm kidnapping a lot of people and having them held hostage over me, because there's a lot of people that could get in contact with me if I got out of this thing. Oh, no, there's other more powerful things that decided that that's not going to happen. And it's just like, okay, but your employees are as good as dead. Their friends and their families are going to be as good as dead. You're as good as dead. There are people that I got no reason to kill that I'll be doing like that later, though. The plan is to gas this whole place so that the Chinese can move in, so the rest of the world can move in. The people that there's enough room for move in, and we've already got that pretty well established. And it's just like, you put your friends and your family at that kind of risk. Anybody that you investigate that's like down and out and this, that, and the other kind of stuff, you got to be like, something could be wrong there. Oh no, we'll come along and tell you what's going on with him. Don't bother asking him. Besides, there's this other imitator of him on the next street over, and that's the real thing. Oh, okay, that's fine. All right. And you got employees that you care about, that you're concerned about their welfare to the point where, wait, you're willing to have me out like this? Well, I don't know if it's all about you. I don't know. It's easy enough to find out if there's even a suspicion. There are people that I'm going to kill that I got nothing against, that probably lived in misery their whole lives, and they're going to get gassed to get rid of all these people that we got, so we don't have to work anymore. So we gotta have everything automated. That they won't allow now, because they want this mass perpetual chaos. Oh, well, who knows? Rather than take a chance and do anything for you, we'll just have you live in misery and keep the thing rolling and going along, and we're the independent inquisitors. That's what we are. No, you're not. You work for them. And all I gotta do is walk around and take a book out. Take it. And we got the word son-in-law and sonic boom. There we go. I don't know where it went. And that's all you gotta do is just investigate that. Look, here we go again. There's the freeway's like right over there. What the hell's the matter with you? Well, I know what the matter with you is. There's how it's ripped. There we go. There, we got the word Spanish. You could look this up anywhere. In Latin America, Spain, and anywhere else they speak that language. Yeah, Hillary, Sarah Zori. She's a Russian true believer from Woodburn, Oregon. Ran away together. I've talked about the story like all over the friggin' place. Watch the video. Well, we can't. Well, then what kind of inquisitor are you? We know it's all about him. We want to see the video. I go up there in the mountains and I talk about this stuff all the time. I spent like months doing that, like on a daily basis. Demand to see the video. If you can't, then you're not doing your job. You're not keeping your employees safe. I'll have you killed, but you already know that. I will have your employees killed and their kids killed. I'm going to have people killed for less than that. People that don't deserve it, and it has nothing to do with it. It's just something that we got to do. That's such an outrageous plan, and it's just like, I don't know if it's true or not. All right, that's what you want to bank on. Just make sure I don't get any money and get myself to China. It's like I say, you send me to China, put a gun to China's head and say, you keep him. They won't let me go because they know how valuable I am. Just send me the plane ticket. You don't even have to send me money. Just send me the plane ticket. Put it in the mailbox, and I'll show up at the airport, and we'll see what happens. Just go for it. You don't have to send any money. Just a plane ticket. You can't even do that now, can you? Oh, later, yeah. Sure, there'll be millions. There, look it up. You're not timing it. Well, look at the freeway. That times it. Well, we can't watch this side of the other thing. I'm like, what kind of inquisitors are you? We agreed to work with certain tools that would make sure that we would never be able to do our jobs properly. Okay, I'll go with that explanation. Oh, people. Oh, people. Look, I'm going to film this stuff, and this goes out in Song and Story, and then there you go. Someone else did it 1 second after you did it. All right, why don't you do stuff, give me a book that no one else knows about, and have me rip up the thing. Put it in a little bag or something somewhere where no one else can see it, and I'll rip it up and throw the pieces out here and there, and then there you go. Rip out a bunch of pages from a bunch of random books, put it in a bag somewhere, nobody but you knows it, and then just have me grab a random piece out of it. It's like, and then it would be like, oh look, there's War and Peace. Oh, there's A Tale of Two Cities. Oh, there's a book in Chinese. There's a book in another language, and there's a book in another language. It's that easy. But we can't do that. You're playing the game they want you to play. And you want me to do like what for you? Your life is in my hands.
And I'm afraid that too many people are being influenced by that foolishness.
Federal Reserve policymakers express concern over inflation. Our Jan Johnson reports.
One group of Federal Reserve policymakers argued that inflation was too low, and the Fed should exercise caution in raising interest rates. Others, however, expressed concerns that delaying further rate hikes could push inflation higher into January. From the Fed's meeting in late July.
I'm from India.
Time 102, our top story, an escapee collared early this morning at top 82nd and Powell. Portland Police say an alert citizen called 911 to report seeing a Washington State Department of Corrections escapee. John Stater tells Point 6 News he thought he recognized the suspect.
I had to wait to make a left hand turn. They see the guy standing on the corner of my bus stop. But they're not twice.
30-year-old Tyree Munter, who was taken into custody, is now in the Multnomah County Jail. The second suspect still on the loose to escape while they were working on the fire lines near Goldendale. Monday night fire at Vancouver's Madison Park Apartments on Northeast 28th Avenue turns out was intentionally set. As according to the city's fire marshal, she is not releasing details, but says police are actively pursuing the leads. Now that Coin 6 forecast from Joseph Dames.
A summer August day for our Wednesday. We're right around average for our daytime high. Temperature stopping off in the lower 80s, a high of 82 degrees. Tonight a few clouds do develop. Temperatures in the upper 50s. We'll kick off our Thursday with some clouds out there. Partly cloudy for the afternoon, highs in the upper 70s. A nice dry weekend with temperatures in the upper 70s, the lower 80s. Coin 6 News meteorologist Joseph Dames, the News Talk, 860 KVIM.
It's sunny and 75. Weather brought to you by Weston Kia, serving you since 1975. We are Jam 278 southbound, walk to Allen. Both directions, 5 lanes east and Vansfield outbound, which could have after crash reported in northwest 23rd and Vaughn, and another in northwest, and check that in northeast, and 122nd and that's brought by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. I'm John Winters.
A fixture in the greater Portland area since 1976. Winchell Business offers a full lineup of residential and commercial services. From installing brand new furnaces in any Portland home to repairing and maintaining commercial HVAC systems. Our experienced customer technicians are ready to assist your needs. Winners trust Oregon to help you reduce energy costs and improve the comfort of your home. Help you earn cash incentives too.
Then finish higher. The Dow up 25 points at the closing bell, closing back over 22K as oil falls further under $47 now. Trading at
I'm Brett Recant with your Freedom 970 traffic, sponsored by TheraWorks Relief. To relieve muscle cramps in your legs and feet, use TheraWorks Relief. This fast-acting foam can even prevent muscle cramps. Get TheraWorks Relief today at TheraWorksRelief.com. Inbound on the Sunset Highway, slow go today. We're looking at about 13 minutes for you from 217 to get into I-405. Looks like we have trouble right near Shoals Ferry on that trip in. That's a 7 or 8 minute delay in place on the inbound Sunset.
Oh, hey, hon. I didn't know you did yoga.
I don't, but I'm going to Carson, so I'm preparing for the birth.
Okay.
Why stress when you can just go to Daimler Ford? Come in during our summer sales event and experience the difference for yourself. With service you'll swear by and unbeatable deals. Like a 2017 Focus for just $11,595. Or a 2017 Expedition EO Platinum for $13,500 off MSRP. The Daimler difference at Daimler Ford. Located on Canyon Road in Beaverton.
Sean Hannity.
Hey, this is former President George W. Bush. It's all my fault.
Only on Freedom 970.
This is how we
hell. I used to live there. That's like 1730 Park Avenue. I know, but I used to live there with Pops for a while. Not very long, just for a little while.
This egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence. I don't think this is a dog whistle territory. I think dog whistles are something that are subtle.
And I've always known that he was dog whistling to a certain element in our society.
Holding them accountable. Sean gets the answers no one else does. Freedom is back in style. Welcome to the revolution.
That's more like what I should be in, like right there. That would be fine. That'd be acceptable.
Sean Hannity Show. More
What the hell's the matter with all of you?
breaking news and more bold-inspired solutions for America.
Well, I did see the president at the Phoenix airport the other night. As I was landing, he was headed out. He did come over and say hello and speak to my husband and myself and talk about his grandchildren and his travels and things like that. So that was the extent of that. And no discussions were held in any cases or anything of that. And he didn't raise anything about that either.
Let me go back, if I can, very briefly, to the decision to publicly go out with your results on the email. Was your decision influenced by the Attorney General's tarmac meeting with the former President Bill Clinton?
Yes, in a ultimately conclusive way. That was the thing that capped it for me, that I had to do something separately to protect the credibility of the investigation, which meant both the FBI and the Justice Department.
Were there other things that contributed to that you can describe in an open session?
There were other things that contributed to that. One significant item I can't. I know the committee's been briefed on. There's been some public accounts of it, which are nonsense, but I understand the committee's been briefed on the classified facts. Probably the only other consideration, I guess I can talk about an open setting, is that at one point the Attorney General had directed me not to call it an investigation, but instead to call it a matter, which confused me and concerned me.
Time and consideration in this matter. Much. You're going to find a lot of these words when I put something out. It's like there. People say, well, it was a little bit there before, now it's only a lot more before, after you put it out. Okay. So...
emails saying that you've been asked not to call it an investigation or to call it
the words and the imagery on that bottle
Can you give us
probably going to be talked about a little bit before I got by it. Once I start kicking around like this, though...
We refused to confirm the existence, as we typically do, of an investigation for months. It was getting to a place where that looked silly, because the campaigns were talking about interacting with the FBI in the course of our work. The Clinton campaign at the time was using all kinds of euphemisms, security review, matters, things like that, for what was going on. We were getting to a place where the Attorney General and I were both going to have to testify and talk publicly about it, and I wanted to know, was she going to authorize us to confirm we had an investigation? And she said, yes, but don't call it that, call it a matter. And I said, why would I do that? And she said, just call it a matter. And again, if you look back in hindsight, you think, should I have resisted harder? I just said, all right, it isn't worth, this is an ill worth.
All the books that I'm kicking this by, that are there in the library, that goes in Song and Story, it goes into the code. You know this better than I do.
And again, I don't know whether it was intentional or not, but it gave the impression that the Attorney General was looking to align the way we talked about our work with the way a political campaign was describing the same activity, which was inaccurate. We had a criminal investigation open with the Federal Bureau of Investigations.
I caught that.
We had an investigation open at the time, and so that gave me a queasy feeling.
All right, hour 2, Sean Hannity Show. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You want to be a part of the program. It's 800-941-SEAN if you want to be a part of the program. We're not going to allow ourselves to get sucked in completely the way the media is and ignoring every other issue beyond the media and them being unhinged, them not listening to the words the president has spoken repeatedly, and you watch the five forces continuing to take down the president, because there still are the forgotten men and women in this country, and there still are issues where there are unresolved, that are totally and completely unresolved as it relates to the rule of law. Now, we have two incidents that I want to draw your attention to. One is we told you about the Freedom of Information Act request by the ACLJ, the group of Jay Sekulow, and the American Center for Law and Justice. He's the chief counsel. He'll join us